We got Scotty Banx in the building.
Look, Cartier's custom fitted to cover my eyes. In a city where it's tricky as fuck to survive. I never ever really fit in as one of the guys, but they always knew that I would make it. No one is surprised.
When did you fall in love with music?
I was about 6 years old, and I forgot the name of the song. There was a video Lil Bow Wow had when it was all the girls chasing him at the end of the video. And I was like, I want to be like that. So I started writing raps when I was 6. And it was, of course, 6-year-old, I don't got nothing to talk about. But when I was 8, my father got shot, and that's when rap became like a release for me. And I started really talking about stuff in my music, and then it became like therapy. And I think that's when I really fell in love with it. It was like, you know, I can do something, because even at 8, people heard me, they was like, oh, you really can do this. And so that's when I like really fell in love with it for real.
So is that where your storytelling skills hone in and come from?
Yeah, I think it's that, and also like the fact that like the person that really taught me how to like really write raps and format things and tell stories was my mother. Like my mother taught me how to rap in like the right way. Like I was doing whatever I could on my own, but she really taught me how to really do it. So I get my storytelling skills from her, because everything she wrote was a story.
So does your mother have any like musical ability or anything?
Nah, I mean, like, she never recorded any songs or anything like that, but like on Christmas she would always like do rap battles against me.
That's bomb. So like she was just doing it for fun, just to like. So how does it feel being Baltimore's secret weapon? Cause you rap, you produce, you mix, you master. How do you juggle all that, and how does it feel?
I like it sometimes, don't get me wrong, but like sometimes it's frustrating because you want that recognition, but at the same time I like the fact that a lot of people know my name but don't know my face, so I can like move around unbothered, you know what I mean? Because it was a point where like I would be out with my ex-girlfriend would always laugh, we'd be out somewhere, there'd be like 4 or 5 people like, oh, Scotty, and it's like, I kind of got away from that because I took myself like out the forefront, I guess. So, you know, it feel good. But also, I like kind of keeping the secret because I don't want to work with everybody. Like, I'm picky who I work with. And I never want to be that guy whose name is attached to a bunch of work that's like trash. Like, I don't want my name attached to anything I'm not proud of. But as far as how I juggle it, though, I don't think you really do juggle it. It's like, shit gonna always be all over the place.
Yeah. So what's a typical day with Scotty?
So a typical day with me, like when I was really knee deep in this shit, typical day was like wake up.
And what year was that?
I would say the peak of everything was probably 2017, 2018 was like when it was really at the peak, because I was charging like dirt cheap numbers, so everybody was coming to me. I was charging $20 an hour. Nobody could beat that. So peak
for your engineering?
Yeah. So like a peak day would be, you know, I wake up around 6, run whatever errands I gotta do till like probably 12 noon. And I'll be in the studio from like 1 to like 10 p.m. just recording. And the thing was, the way I set my sessions up at the time, I wouldn't have no break in between. So I would just be in that chair for 10 hours because I didn't like schedule no 30-minute breaks or nothing like that between sessions.
Damn.
So after that, I would go back home. And, you know, it wasn't over. I'd go back home, make some beats, edit whatever videos I shot that day, because I also shot videos back then, and got back to it the next day, you know, get whatever sleep I could, and we back at it. I think now though, like, because I've matured and you know, had a whole mental breakdown this year, I think now I value my time a little more, and I realize like my priorities different. Like there's no amount of money you could pay me right now to get me to sit in the studio longer than I want to, like.
And I was gonna ask, so like, you alluded to your mental health getting bad last year, I believe. What do you think exactly happened last year that really made you change your outlook on who you do spend your time and your energy on and things like that?
So last year, like towards like from December to February, I got real sick, and the doctors couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. Like to this day, they still don't know what happened. But I got real sick, like physically, and it was like I lost a lot of weight. Like I lost like probably 50 pounds, and I stopped sleeping and everything. And you know, I'm telling them like, hey, something is wrong, and they running all these tests and like, yo, nothing's coming back wrong. We don't know what's going on. So they like, oh, it's just anxiety and depression. And at that point in time, I'm like, nah, that's bullshit, because I never dealt with anxiety and depression. So I'm like, nah, it can't be that. It can't be. But what ended up happening was I spiraled into depression because nobody could figure out what was wrong with me. Like, I was fine before that. But when nobody could figure out what was wrong, I'm turning to Google every 5 minutes, like, yo, what's going on? Google, like, nigga, you dying. You know
right,
what I mean?
yeah.
When you Google shit, it's like, oh, it's the end right there. And you know, that consumed me from December of last year till March of this year. Like, I lost the love of my life and everything. Like, shit was bad. And you know, when I think about it though, it's no way me and her would have made it through what I went through, because shit was very ugly. Like, it was bad. Like, I would, like, because what happens is when you don't sleep right, you go psychotic. And when you go psychotic, you literally out your fucking mind. So I would wake up, call my friends like, yo, I'm in hell, help me. And like, they was like, bro, what the fuck? But you know, my best friend, John Wells, he like taught me through that shit every day. I would call him at 3 o'clock in the morning. He would wake up out of sleep and talk to me until 12 o'clock in the afternoon if I needed him to. Like, he really rolled that shit out with me. Him and another friend of mine, which is funny because my other friend was like the first manager I had at my first job, and me and him kind of connected on a deeper level through this because it's something he dealt with also. And you know, like, I had a suicide attempt in March, and like, that's when everything changed, because when you on your deathbed, life look a lot different. Like, you know, like, I remember I woke up, well, I don't remember, but my mother told me this. Like, I woke up and didn't know who my mother was, I didn't know who I was, I didn't know where I was. One thing I do vaguely remember was like, when I got in there, the nurse was like, can you tell me what day it is? And I kept saying my birthday. Like, it was March, my birthday is in September, but I kept saying my birthday.
Yeah.
So then, like, when I did start coming back to consciousness, I remember I was in the hospital bed, and I didn't know that, like, I had fell early that day. So I'm in the bed and I try to get up, and I only noticed because I used to do patient transport at the hospital. So when I got up to try to move, the bed alarm started ringing. So I'm like, shit, I can't walk. And they like, nah, you can't. And I'm like, oh my God. So later that day, I had to use the bathroom, and the nurse like, you want to try to get to the bathroom? So I'm like, yeah. And she pulled a walker around, and I'm like, oh shit, I really fucked myself up. So I get down and try to walk, and my knees just buckle. Like, I can't walk at all. Like, I'm shaking like I got Parkinson's or something. Like, I can't walk. So I'm like, damn. So then they had to give me like one of those little urinal cup things, which is like the most awkward thing ever. But then later that day, she's like, hey, we got some food for you, what you want to drink? So I'm like, I want a ginger ale. And I get the cup in my hand, and I can't hold the cup straight. Like, I keep shaking and shaking and shaking. So they give me a straw, and I can't hold my mouth straight to drink out the straw. So like, that was another thing that fucked me up. And you know, then of course after that, the psychiatrist at the hospital come in, and he like, look, you know, tried to kill yourself, we can't let you go back home because you're not safe by yourself, you can't be trusted, so we got to keep you here for a little while. So I go into the psychiatric facility for like a week, and it wasn't my first time there because I had a meltdown back in December of last year, but I was only in there for like probably 8 hours because I was like, all right, this shit ain't for me.
Yeah.
But this time around, it was like, nah, you gotta stay. And it's like jail, you know what I mean? Like, they tell you when you can and can't eat, they tell you when you can and can't come out your room. They give you like this little payphone to call home on and shit. It's like a line every day. You gotta tell motherfuckers like, hurry up, get out the phone. Like, it's that type time in there. But what made me realize, like, yo, yeah, you depressed, but you don't belong in here. What made me realize that was, I went to sleep one day. Oh yeah, they finally gave me pills to help me sleep, so I was finally getting sleep again. But I went to sleep one day and woke up with a roommate, and I'm like, what the fuck? So then I go to the bathroom, and when you're in a psychiatric facility, the doors are not regular doors, it's like barn style doors, so you can see like over them and shit like that. So I'm in there using the bathroom, and I look through the door, my roommate's staring at me, and I'm like, oh fuck no. Yeah. So I cuss him out, and I'm about to fight him, and I gotta stop myself like, yo, nah, he got mental issues, you can't do that. So I'm like, alright. So I just had to ask to get my my room changed, and they changed my room. But what I would say to anybody that's like thinking about suicide is, don't try it, because the only thing worse than killing yourself is like waking up and realizing you fucked yourself up for life and you can't change that shit. Like if I would have got stuck, unable to walk and shaking all the time, I'd have been fucked up. Like I'd have been, you know, even more depressed than I was when I tried to kill myself. So it's like, you know, if you try to cut your wrist, you're gonna lose your nerve in your hands. You can't use your hands no more. If you try to blow your brains out, you're gonna live and just be a vegetable. So like none of this shit is worth it. Like just talk to somebody, and you know, no matter what you're going through, because I thought I was literally dying. So no matter what you're going through, talk to somebody about it. Go to therapy. Just ride it out, because it sounds cliche and you're not gonna believe it when you're going through it, but shit does get better. Like I went from thinking like this is the end of my life to coming home making the best music I ever made in my damn life, because I had a story to tell. And I'm just a new person now. Like my outlook on relationships is different, my outlook on friendship is different, my outlook on everything is different, on finances, all that. Like my outlook on the whole journey of life is different, because I always thought like, and I mean everybody thought this about me, but everybody's like, yo, you're gonna go and do big things, you're gonna be a millionaire and all. And it's like, I mean, I probably still could, but if I don't become a millionaire, I don't really give a fuck, because I know what like really makes me happy now, and there's no amount of money that can, you know, make memories with your family. Like that's what really like makes me happy. So, you know, I mean, I appreciate the support I get, but it's like I don't give a fuck. You know.
Usually, I was gonna say it's a good thing that you don't care and that you're able to look at it in that perspective, because at the end of the day, you know, this shit could hit and you could blow up.
Yeah.
And so it's just like, oh, it's a win-win either way.
Right.
And then with the I can relate with the mental health thing, because I recently went through something as well.
Yeah.
I did not get I was about to go to a mental health facility, but I was like, hell no, I'm not going. I will sign up for some therapy finally. Like it gets better.
Yeah.
And I wanted to ask, how did your bond with John Wells, how did y'all get so tight?
So
And it's crazy because you rap, you mix, you master, but so does he.
Yeah.
So that wasn't no coincidence.
And it's funny because, alright, so this is how it happened. So back in like 2011, I was in 11th grade and he was in the 9th grade, but my school would play my music videos on the announcements every morning. So he found my video on YouTube and commented like, yo, go to Kenwood. And I replied like, yes, if you see me, just say what's up. And I went on his page, and at the time he was trying to be like a fashion YouTuber. He was posting fashion reviews, and I'm like, yo, alright. So anyway, I don't know, he was all like, he seemed quiet. So when I seen him in school one day, I'm like, yo, what's up? Like, you coming to my video, what's up? He like, oh shit, what's up? Yo, yeah. Like, he didn't really say too much. But then my school started doing these things called enrichment, which was like basically like extracurricular activities before school started or whatever. So they had a music video club and a DJ club, and he was in both of them with me. So we went to the DJ club, and my teacher was just playing random beats. So I'm like, yo, rap, yo. And he was like, yo, I don't rap, bro. I'm like, yo, you can do a rap. And he wouldn't rap. So then I seen him in the music video club, and I'm like, yo, be in my music video, I'm gonna shoot one. I need you to play the teacher. He like, yeah, I got sweater, I can play the teacher. So I'm like, all right, whatever. But we never shot the video. But then he started like rapping with his little rap group from school, and everybody in it was some shit, but I seen potential in him though. I'm like, yo, you could probably do this, but they some bullshit. And so then, you know, I go off to college, and
what college was that?
I went to Wesley College, the worst experience of my life in Delaware. 0 out of 10 wouldn't recommend. But so I get back from college after like the first semester. I come back like, fuck that shit, and he was still rapping with his rap group. And I'm like, yo, you know, come through my house and we gonna record. At the time I didn't have a studio yet, so I'm like, come through the house, we gonna make beats and record. He was literally skipping his like final exams to come record at my house, and we started like figuring out what his sound was. And I liked him because he talked about real music. Like at first, like he was the first person I knew to talk about suicide and depression. Like I thought that shit was crazy. I'm like, bro, we gotta get you help.
Yeah.
He was like, nah, yo, I'm good. But he was going through like a real bad heartbreak and shit like that. And I used to make fun of him, like, yo, stop being a bitch. But you know, I'm like, yo, to get better. And he finally came out of it. So yeah, you know, we went on making beats together. The beats fucking sucked. Like that shit was terrible. But I was like, he was my guinea pig to learn how to engineer, so I kept recording him and learning how to do shit better and better and better. So if you listen to every project he did, up until his last one before the Lucky Jordan and shit, before that one, like if you listen to all the shit he did, like you can hear my mixes get better and better and better.
You can hear it grow.
And
from the both of y'all.
Yeah. So the way he started recording himself though is because I started getting too busy with like working for clients and shit. He stopped wanting to wait around. So I'm like, bro, you can do this shit yourself. Like when we had our record label, that's what I wanted. I wanted everybody to be self-sufficient. Like we could all learn how to do this shit ourselves. So you got like him doing this shit himself now. Then you got like Daveology, who was on my label. He know how to make beats and record and mix himself also. And then you got dude Dane, who could do the same thing. So it was like all of us were supposed to know how to do that. He just finally coming around with it, which is cool. But we started getting like super tight because we spent a lot of time together in my room. Like, yo, this is gonna work out one day. This is gonna work out one day. This is gonna work out one day. And you know, years later, he getting like 1 million views on Twitter on his video.
Right.
So you know, it's like it's crazy. You go from recording in my room to one day this shit really does pan out, and it's just like, damn.
It's lit because y'all, like, being able to watch y'all silently, because I know y'all didn't know that, like, you know, I fucks with y'all or whatever, but watching y'all silently, it's just bomb because it's like, you really are able to see the progress and shit, and it's dope because Baltimore is like, we're the underdogs, you know what I'm saying, but it's mad talent here, like, niggas is talented, and it's only right, like, it's really about time. I'm just super proud, for real. The versus battle.
Oh shit.
So whose side were you on? Were you on Gucci or Jeezy?
I was on Jeezy's side. I wasn't never a Gucci fan growing up. Honestly, I didn't start listening to Gucci music till like probably 2017. Like I was always a Jeezy fan. I could understand what he was saying. Gucci Man just always seemed like he was in the special ed class, so I just couldn't really get with that shit. But I do respect the way he came out swinging on Jeezy though. Like he came out hard from the first song, and I was like, oh shit, Jeezy might lose this.
Right? That shit was crazy. It was crazy. It was disrespectful.
Yeah, like I don't think I would have enough maturity to like, yo, talking my dead homeboy in my face. He would have to get stabbed in his fucking head.
Nah.
No way.
Nah, I was thinking that too. Like hell no. It's cool and all to be cordial for the bread, but you know, once you start throwing out shots and you talking about my dick, nah. So I want to ask, if you have 24 hours to live, what are you doing?
24 hours to live. Tell my family get on this plane and we going to Australia. That's where I want to go before I die. So we gonna spend however many hours after it take to get there just chilling in Australia. After that, and I'll probably just like leak all my unreleased music just for like fuck's sake. Like, alright, when I'm gone, y'all can hear this shit.
That's lit. You still gonna live forever. What's your creative process like?
Wow. So it's funny. My creative process used to be like I would just listen to a beat and write like, you know, 4 bars every day for over like 2 weeks. But now what I do is I might hear a beat I like and I'll drive around aimlessly just writing a song in my head. Like I don't write it down. I just like come up with 4 bars at a time, memorize it, come up with another 4 until I got a song done. So I would literally drive from Essex to like Pennsylvania just to get to Pennsylvania and turn right around. Like I don't do anything when I get to these other states. I just turn right the fuck around. But I keep writing these songs in my head until I gotta memorize. And I might like write like 2 or 3 songs on the average drive.
That's lit.
Yeah.
That's different too.
Yeah.
What's 3 necessities you can't leave the house without?
My glasses, my phone, and my wallet. I need those.
Well, besides your phone and your wallet?
A hat and a watch. Well, I don't got a watch on the day, but you know, other than today, yeah.
One thing I've learned along my journey.
One thing I learned along my journey is you can't get lost on the path that's meant for you. Like, whatever's supposed to happen is going to happen, and whatever's not supposed to happen will never happen. But if you find yourself feeling like you're going backwards, you know, it's a reason for that. If you find yourself feeling like you're going forward, it's a reason for that. If you find yourself like you're just at a standstill, it's a reason for that. So you can't really fuck up destiny. Like, whatever's meant for you, nothing can stop that shit.
Sex is cool, but have you ever?
Sex is cool, but have you ever had? Let me see. Sex is cool, but have you ever had a 3 cheese chicken quesadilla from Tropical Smoothie Cafe? That shit.
Yes. I fucks with Tropical Cafe smoothie. I don't cry often, but I will cry when.
Don't cry often, but I will cry when somebody buys me gifts for Christmas. Like, that shit really touches my soul. Like, damn, you thought about me.
The song that made it onto your September Baby EP that features John Wells, Blood Brothers.
Oh yeah.
So how did you guys come up with that?
Alright, so the way I came up with that, like the way I started off, you know, little eyes stared death in the eyes, told me you can take my soul, but nigga come and try. Like, that was me talking about my suicide attempt. Like, I literally met death and then took my life back. So that's how that happened. And like, what happened was I just wrote my verse. Like, I just wrote my shit. And I just told him, I texted him like, yo, this the song, just go for the rest of the beat. And that's what he did. Like, he just went the fuck off for the rest of the beat. And that's really how it came about. Like, it wasn't too much of an elaborate process. It was just like, I came home from work one day like, I want to make some shit that sound mean. And I found a beat that sounded mean, and I just ran with it.
What's your favorite venue to perform if you performed live? I don't care how long it's been. Just like the favorite venue with the favorite vibes.
I like the Crown.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that's like new to me, but I like the Crown. Like, I've been doing this shit so long. I was performing when Black Hole was a place in Dundalk. It was this club called Black Hole that like Boss Man and them was performing that, and I was performing in there with them up when I was 13.
Damn.
Yeah, I've been doing this shit that long. So that was cool, but they got shut down because like a drug raid happened. They had like all these wild ass drugs in there. But like, I was in middle school sitting in the VIP in clubs and shit. It was crazy.
So it sounds like you lived a life.
Yeah, I can make a movie about this one.
Is there anything new that we should be looking out for that you're coming out with?
Yeah, I'm working on a project. I want to call it an album, but it's just an album called a project right now. But it's called Supremacy. The main reason I call it Supremacy is like, it's about conquering your own mind, because that's what life is all about. It's about winning the battle against your mind, because from the day you're born, your mind starts telling you what you can and can't do, and it's like, you gotta fight that, and if you fight that and win, then you reach supremacy. So look out for that. I'm not sure when it's gonna come out, but I've been working on it, so look out for that.
Silver spoon, still my life is golden. I'm looking forward to the memories of priceless moments. My haters want me sending shots, I do not condone it. All I ever send is my opponents, my condolence.